I used to eat chalupas all the time, and I always hated it.
I don't eat chalupas very often, but I love it.
First, a nice basic queso sauce. In a medium sauce pot, add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter.
In a medium sauce pot, add 2 tablespoons of butter.
Add in half a yellow onion, finely diced.
Half a yellow onion, roughly chopped.
1 seeded and diced poblano pepper.
1 seeded and diced poblano pepper.
Sweat those for 3 to 5 minutes, then add 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour.
After 4 minutes, 1 tablespoon of flour.
360 milliliters of whole milk.
A cup and a half of whole milk. I only had a cup, so we're gonna make the other half cup by mixing 1/4 cup of heavy cream and a 1/4 cup of water.
That's weird.
Just until the milk begins to thicken, and mix in a 1/3 pound or 150 grams of grated American cheese.
Like the fake stuff?
Yes, the fake stuff. Trust me here.
I trust him, plus I've always wanted to make the cheese slapping scenes from one of those viral Bayashi videos. This is a very long peeling process for several satisfying slaps. Alright, ready, go.
Half a pound or 225 grams of grated cheddar cheese.
I'm just gonna grate in the rest of my Gruyere.
Continuously but gently stir until everything is melted and you have a beautiful cheese sauce.
Stir for a couple minutes, now I have a beautiful soft scrambled eggs.
Taco Bell seasoned beef. Iconic, horrible. Obviously I ground my own by grinding together 1 pound or 450 grams of Texas Wagyu chuck roast and a 1/4 pound or 112 grams of the smokiest bacon I could find.
I'm also gonna make my own by combining a pound of ground beef with the smokiest bacon I could find in my fridge. I don't have a meat grinder, so I'll chop them into small pieces, then smaller pieces, and then very small pieces. And then we'll just simply combine the bacon and the ground beef. I really didn't think it through here. I should have done it in a bowl. But anyways, we'll just mix it up on this cutting board and make it nice and pretty.
Heat a medium-sized sauce pot over medium-high.
Heat a medium pan, then go get medium-high.
Once it's hot like me, in Lululemon leggings, add your beef, press it into the pan, and sear for 3 minutes.
Once it's hot like Nick going shirtless, I'll put in my meat.
Until you get some nice browning. At this point you can mix it up. Ideally you can use a masher to get the beef extra fine.
Now we'll flip the meat and then mix it up extra fine with the Ligma fork.
Reduce the heat to medium and add 2 tablespoons or 35 grams of tomato paste. Saute that for about 1 minute or until you develop a nice fond at the bottom.
Now we'll go in with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and then saute it till we have some fond.
Cumin powder, onion powder, mushroom soup base powder, smoked paprika, fresh ground black pepper, and salt to taste.
So I have ground cumin, onion powder, mushroom powder from 11 Madison Park, smoked paprika, and salt and pepper.
Add 1 cup or 240 milliliters of water.
Add 1 cup of water.
Creeping that fond.
I guess there's no fond.
Simmer that down until you reach what's called au sec.
Just googled it and au sec means almost dry, so I think this is it.
Cut off the heat and stir in 4 cloves of very finely chopped garlic. Do not cook the garlic after this. Trust me.
I fully trust him because I understand that many things in life are better enjoyed raw.
Now, your chalupa dough, shockingly easy, and you don't need any fancy equipment at all. So yeah! 375 grams of all-purpose flour,
187 grams of all-purpose flour,
7 grams of fine sea salt,
3 grams of sea salt,
2.5 teaspoons or 11 grams of baking powder,
6 grams of baking powder,
whisk all that together,
whisking together,
and then add 1 cup or 240 milliliters of whole milk and 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of vegetable oil.
1 cup of the homemade milk mixture, half a cup of heavy cream, half a cup of water, and then 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil.
Mix that by hand until you form a rough dough, then knead that bad boy for 2 to 4 minutes or until smooth and beautiful like this fellow right here.
We'll mix it by hand till it forms a smooth dough, and then we'll knead it for a few minutes. I have to say, this looks so much more wet than the original video. As I'm mixing, I realized I did half recipe for the dry ingredients and full recipe for the liquids. Don't worry, we'll just start over. 187 grams of all-purpose flour, salt, sugar, baking powder, give whiskey business, and then half a cup of liquid and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Combine the mixture with my right hand, knead for a few minutes till it becomes a smooth dough.
Oh, I just want to give him a little kiss. Look at him. Cover him up and let him rest for 15 minutes.
After giving it a little kiss, cover up and rest for 15.
Divide your dough into 8 even pieces. And for the perfectionists around, that'll be about 67 grams each.
I'm much more than just the perfectionist, so I'll divide it up into 69 grams each.
Roll your dough pieces into light balls, then using a rolling pin, roll them out into discs that are about 6 inches across.
Form it into a ball and roll it into not quite 6 inches, but it will work just fine.
Then using a fork, lightly poke holes throughout the entire rolled dough.
Violently poke holes throughout the dough with a Ligma fork.
Gently lay one piece of dough into your heated frying oil and allow to fry for about 15 seconds, then remove and form into a taco shape using tongs.
Once the oil reaches 350, we'll drop it in and then count for 15 seconds. Oh god, it's getting everywhere. What's happening here? Alright, let's just take it out now. We'll try to form it into a taco shape and then drop it back in to finalize.
Repeat that process with all of your chalupa dough.
Repeat the process for all of the dough.
I was pretty surprised with how similar these smelled. They looked like the original Taco Bell chalupa shell, except significantly better.
I mean, they're significantly thicker. I guess that's better.
We're almost there. We just need to talk toppings. Lettuce. No one puts iceberg in the corner.
So I'm gonna go grab some iceberg lettuce from the corner.
To make this more thoughtful, half a jicama, peeled and julienne, very finely chopped fresh cilantro.
I had no idea what jicama is, so I looked it up on Google and all these health articles popped up. When a food needs this much health appeal, you know it doesn't taste good.
Toss together until thoroughly incorporated, and well, that's it.
Toss them together and that's it.
For your cheese topping in a medium-sized bowl, you'll simply combine 1 cup or 200 grams of Monterey cheese,
My apartment's out of cheese, so we'll move to the next topping.
1 tomato diced, season lightly with salt and pepper, and a light glug of extra virgin olive oil for richness.
I'll just cut some cherry tomato and do some salt and pepper. Unlike real life, I don't want it to be too rich.
At this point, you should check and see, is your queso hot and in a liquid state? Is your beef reheated and ready to be put on?
Nope. We'll be right back.
Later.
Alright, the assemble we all been waiting for.
Open up a beautiful chalupa shell.
Now very gently we'll open up a beautiful chalupa.
Man, can't anything go right in my life?
Layer a hot helping of your seasoned beef.
Layering a hotbed of my seasoned beef.
Follow that with a fair layer of your queso.
A thick layer of my queso.
A nice generous helping of full-fat sour cream.
And a generous amount of Trader Joe's yogurt.
Finally, your fragrant iceberg salad.
And finally, we'll top it off with lettuce and tomatoes. Ground beef, American cheese, lettuce, tomatoes. This is like my favorite burger.
There's a freshness.
Smells like crispy water. Maybe just a little too much vegetables to my liking. Let's see what you guys think on Instagram.
I gave a second chance to Cupid, but now I left you feeling stupid.
But let's taste it. All the layers of spices in the beef are perfectly complemented by the freshness of the vegetables. All that enclosed by the crispy shell, providing more richness and texture. Overall, the flavors of this dish is incredibly strong and balanced, and is definitely better than the Taco Bell version. Alright, thank you.